We can get this meeting started.
Recording in progress.
Well, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the City Council meeting, January 6th, 2025. With that, if we could have roll call, please.
Luther,
Here.
Crow,
Here.
Sutherland,
Here.
Bianco,
Here.
McCullough, Schweppes, Gentz,
Here.
Solberg,
Here.
Schlew,
Here.
Erdman,
Here.
Sommerfeld.
Thank you. We don't have any special recognitions this evening other than we have a couple of proclamations. So we have a proclamation tonight for the Wall Dogs. They're going to be coming to Menomonie, Wisconsin. It's exciting. There's going to be a lot going on in Menomonie. So we've got a little proclamation that I'll be signing to support the Wall Dogs in Menomonie coming up in the near future. So that's pretty fun. They're still looking for locations and the whole project's kind of coming together as we speak, but I know there's a lot of effort being made for that project and for murals throughout Menomonie and paintings and so forth and so on. So hats off to that and so forth. So there's a proclamation for the Wall Dogs. Also, Martin Luther King Jr. Day proclamation. I also want to make a proclamation regarding Martin Luther King Jr. and what it stands for. And also with that we will be changing our meeting night for our city council to the following.
To Tuesday, to the day after.
To the day after, correct. So just make that as a mental note that the following Tuesday, the day after Martin Luther King Jr. Day will be our city council meeting. So we have two proclamations this evening for those two, the Wall Dogs and Martin Luther King Jr. Moving on to approval of minutes. If somebody'd like to make a motion to approve the minutes, we can do that. Rylan?
Yeah, I would make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
Okay, Chad?
I'd like to second Ryland's motion.
Okay, motion made and seconded. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Public comments. Public comments is a portion of our meeting where anybody can speak for 3 minutes or less on agenda items for the evening. We would like for you to come to the podium, do sign in, give us your name and your address, and then go from there. Chief, go.
Yes, if I may, if you are scheduled on our agenda to speak, so I'm looking at our public housing and the Bridge to Hope, we'll bring you up during the time of the agenda item. But if you want to comment on public comments, you're welcome to do so.
Okay, so if there's anybody that'd like to step up to the podium for public comments, now is your opportunity to do so. Not seeing any, we will close public comments and move on with the rest of our meeting. Under new business, proposed 2025-2027 cross-connection agreement with HydroCore. This is an ongoing agreement. And Mr. Schofield, if you want to bring us up to speed, we'd appreciate that.
I would love to pass this off to Mr. Hoyt as our water superintendent.
All right. Jeremy, come on up front.
Hello, this is a contract we've had for probably trying to think, this would be the third contract, this would be the second renewal with them. They do all the comprehensive cross-connection inspections for us of industrial, commercial, and public authority. They do a great job, and their staffing takes quite a load off of our workload, being able to pass out the mailers and schedule everything and actually get the re-inspections when they find violations and get it in compliance. So I think it's every year it's gone up. If you break it down per month, about $150, and it's $160, I believe it went up this year. So it's right in line with the past two contracts with the cost of living increase kind of to it. So
just for audience, what is a cross connection and what does that mean, or what does that entail in 10 words or less?
10 words. So if your water system's not connected to a bucket of dish soap, let's say, with a hose on it, and if our main was to break in the street, it would back siphon all that soapy water back into our water main. So it protects our protects our distribution system.
Right, and it's very important when we have industry and such out there that we have a solid cross-connection backflow preventative measures, we're correct?
Correct, yes.
Thank you. Okay, any questions for Jeremy? Oh,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Jeremy, one quick question for you on this contract for those inspections. It is my understanding that this contract allows us to really save on our human resources. And if we had to take on this work ourselves, that'd probably be looking at like a half-time type position or even another 3/4 position
But yeah, or
or a
a
full-time
full-time
maybe even.
position and a half-time clerical to schedule everything and follow up with the mailers. Yeah.
Okay. So if we're looking at the overall cost of that, if we had to add on that particular labor, that would be about $150,000 expense to our general operating fund versus this particular contract at around $33,000.
Good point made. Thank you. Ryland.
So this is just for the commercial one right now, right?
Yes, commercial, industrial, public authority. We've been doing the residential in-house. Now we took that on the last contract. So for the last 3 years, we dropped the residential portion and our staff is doing that portion of it.
Okay, because my question was, with our goal of eliminating lead water pipes, is there any way to include that
Yeah, so
Um,
the last,
moving forward in the future?
yep, the last 3 years, from the last contract on, they've been doing the service line inventory surveys for us as the inspections, and they gave us all that data, and that we plugged that into our GSI and reported that to the EPA. So they saved us a lot of legwork to getting into the commercial and industrial portions of our community.
Okay, thanks.
Good answer, good question. Thank you very much, Jeremy. If anybody would like to support this cross-connection agreement with HydroCore, you can do so with the motion. Matthew, go ahead, please.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the agreement between the city of Menomonie beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending on December 31st, 2027.
Okay, thank you. Good motion. Is there a second to that motion? Chad, go ahead, please.
Like the second is motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? Jeff Luther, please.
Should that motion have included agreement between the city of Menomonie and HydroCorp?
I was just stepping in to say that, Jeff. Yeah. So it
It
would,
should have.
just to clarify, approve the agreement between City of Menomonie and HydroCorp beginning January 1st, 2025 and ending on December 27, if that's good with.
That's correct.
That's good with Matthew. Is that good with Chad?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so motion stands and is seconded. Any additional discussion? Let's see, roll call vote, please.
Crow,
Yes.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Yanko,
Yes.
Gantz,
Yes.
Solberg,
Yes.
Schlü,
Yes.
Erdmann,
Yes.
Sommerfeld,
Yes.
Luther.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you. For B, proposed 2025 senior center lease agreement. Now, I know the senior center, the city's been working with the senior center for a long time. It's a great facility, really well used. It's a great agreement that the city has with the senior center. I think it's $1. But we're also utilizing some of the space this year for for University of Wisconsin Stout for their child ed program and so forth. So I don't know if you want to elaborate on that at all, Eric? Or?
Sure. I would like to extend a thanks to Mitch Stein, David Schofield for working with UW Stout in a collaborative partnership to bring over their childhood education program to the Leisure Services Center. Also want to thank to the Senior Center for recognizing that we needed to assist one of our local community partners, and because there's some space that's being moved around for the Senior Center, and they were agreeable to the changes. So certainly staff supports this continued agreement. They provide a very nice service for our seniors.
Thank you. If anybody would like to support this with a motion, they can do so at this time. Jeff Luther,
yeah, I'd like to make a motion to approve the lease agreement between the city of Menomonie and Menomonie Area Senior Center, Inc., beginning January 1, 2025 and ending on December 31st, 2025.
thank you. Is there a second to that motion? Ryland,
Yep, I'll second Jeff's motion.
motion made and seconded. Any additional discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. For C, Human Trafficking Proclamation presentation by the Bridge to Hope. Molly is here this evening, and tell us a little bit about the Bridge to Hope and human trafficking, and you have to turn your microphone on as well. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, so my name is Molly Meridian. I'm the Executive Director of the Bridge to Hope. It's an honor to stand before you today to present a proclamation that calls our city to action against a crime that impacts millions of lives each year, human trafficking. This crime is not just something that happens in a far off place or in a distant city. It affects our community and sadly even our own children, neighbors, friends, family. Human trafficking is a form of modern day slavery that exploits individuals for forced labor, sexual exploitation, and other heinous purposes. It thrives in the shadows, hidden in plain sight, and far too often victims are silenced, afraid, or unable to escape their circumstances. They may be young, old, male, female, gender nonconforming, citizens, immigrants. What they do share is the fact that they are all victims of an unforgivable crime, a violation of basic human rights. As a community, it is essential that we acknowledge the severity of this issue and commit ourselves to raising awareness, increasing education, and offering support to those who are affected. By doing so, we can make our city a place where victims are not overlooked, where people know the signs of trafficking, and where anyone who finds himself in need of help can reach out and be supported. This proclamation, which we are presenting today, would declare January 11th, 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness Day in the city of Menomonie. On this day, we ask our community to come together and recognize the signs of human trafficking and learn how they can assist in combating this crime. By shining a light on this issue, we are not just making our community safer, we are giving voice to those who have none. We are sending a clear message that human trafficking has no place in our city. We stand united in our commitment to fight this crime and to support victims on their path in healing and justice. The Bridge to Hope is available 24/7. It is a local, free, and confidential source actively addressing and preventing human trafficking, domestic violence, and sexual assault in our community. Well-trained advocates provide personal advocacy, safety planning, legal assistance, emergency food and shelter, parenting support, medical advocacy, and emotional support to survivors. Advocates also work to provide the community with research-based information about the realities of human trafficking and actionable tools to prevent the crime from continuing. Let us remember that our responsibility goes beyond just awareness. It extends to action. Whether it's through education, reporting suspicious activity, or supporting victims, every step we take brings us closer to ending human trafficking. Thank you for your attention to this urgent matter and for your ongoing commitment to making our city a safer, more compassionate place for all. With that, I respectfully ask that we have your approval for the proclamation day of January 11th, 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness Day in Menomonie. Together, we can make a meaningful difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Molly. Very well said. I appreciate all the work that you and Bridge to Hope does throughout not only Menomonie, but our community as a whole. So appreciate you being here this evening. I will read the proclamation. Now, therefore, I, Randy Knack, Mayor of the City of Menomonie, do hereby proclaim January 11th, 2025 as Human Trafficking Awareness Day in our city. During this month, we call upon all residents to join us in acknowledging the gravity of this issue, to educate themselves and others about human trafficking, and to take proactive steps in reporting suspicious activities. Let us all come together to fight to end human trafficking, ensuring a safer, more just world for all of us. So with that, I'll sign this and I'll get you a copy, and thank you for being here this evening.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, thank you. Moving on to 4D, the pilot check presentation and HACOM update. Rebecca Kralowski, come on forward. You're already there. Tell us a little bit about all the work that you're doing and the presentation this evening.
Returning this year has been nice and quiet. We've actually had, as I was explaining earlier, is our quiet in housing isn't necessarily a quiet year, but it's a quiet year that we haven't had any major catastrophes or a ton of move outs, or like last year when we had the unit that was totally demolished inside by a client. So this year has been phenomenally quiet. We finished up doing the tuck point at the Hosford Rich Apartments, and we were able to complete the parking lot project as well. At Memorial Heights, we've done the parking lot project there too. We worked to finish at the high rise. We're working on updating our elevator and doing just some general capital improvements on all of our buildings. Our family scattered sites remain pretty much the same, hopefully blended in our society that you don't even know that they exist, and that's what we strive for, so that no one knows that we are there. So today, in the pilot, I would like to present to you our pilot from both the Housing Authority and Memorial Heights Apartments. Memorial Heights Apartments is the rural development project. Rural development has changed a little bit in how they handle things. They have now went to management outside the state of Wisconsin, with South Dakota as our representative. But today I'll be presenting a check from that property in the amount of $3,900. And from the Housing Authority from both the Hosford Rich Apartments and our family scattered sites, I will be presenting $61,132.34 to the city for our pilot from both of those projects as well. And I open the floor for any questions that you may have. I did hand out a packet for you, just a little bit of our background. And
Well, that's
leave it to
great.
you.
Thank you, Rebecca. I have just a real quick question, just curiosity. How many patrons do you serve? I mean, how many?
We have 150 units combined.
Oh, that's a great asset. And are they mostly lower income? I mean, what's your status on income rates as far as that goes?
The average income rate I actually put in the packet is, and that's the average. We've actually, and that is 26,391. However, the regulation now that HUD in Congress has stipulated forward is that we are capping some assets and income levels. We've actually had to terminate one tenancy this past year because they were over income. That was the first for us. We do have a couple more depending on how the regulations come down because they haven't quite finished doing all of that in the HOTMA is what it's called. We may be terminating some more clients that will be considered over income. And when you look at over income, some of them are very far and is reasonable. And some of them are, when you look at their expenditures with having a car and a mortgage or another rental, they're really not bettering themselves at that point. It's not giving them that step in between.
Good.
We had currently, when I looked today before I left, I have one family that's at zero income. And my highest income right now for a family, I think it was a 6, is at like 86,000.
Well, thank you for what you do and the services you provide to the community. And we appreciate you being here this evening.
Thank you.
Thank you. Do we need a motion to accept the payment? So if somebody'd like to make that motion, Chad?
I'd like to make a motion to approve accepting the payment from the Menomonie Housing Authority in lieu of taxes.
Great. Is there a second to that motion, Matthew?
I'll second Chad's motion.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, moving forward to, I don't think we have any budget transfers, last I knew. No budget transfers. Brings us down to the mayor's report. I'm going to be brief, but I do want to state some of the different things that we were able to accomplish as a city in 2024. 2024 was a pretty successful year, and I'm just going to touch on a few things just real quick. May not cover everything, but here's a list of some of the things that the city of Menomonie did. I'm pretty excited about our parks. We added a kayak rental kiosk in Lakeside Park, the completed Wilson Parkways, the park walkways, right for the concerts and other events. Started the Wakanda Water Park filter building improvements. Started the Phelan Park playground improvements. Wakanda Park batting cage, basketball court, and pickleball improvements to be completed in 2025. This is a lot of stuff. Streets, we opened most of the streets to ATVs and UTVs, which I think has been a plus. And I haven't had any major incident. We haven't had any incidences, and I'm getting a lot of thank yous. Repaved Bongi Drive from 24th Avenue to 28th Avenue. That's that's amazing. Partnered with Dunn County to extend the US Highway 12 trail to Stokey Parkway, going past the Judicial Center. That was a great addition. Started Pine Avenue improvements from Wilson Street to the Game Park Road. That'll be completed next year or this year. Development, we partnered with Dunn County and UW Stout to create one-of-a-kind shared economic development director positions. That took a couple years in the making, but we accomplished it this last year. That's way good. We closed tax increment District 12 and created about $45 million in assessed value. We opened tax increment District 19 downtown, closed a development agreement to assist with restoring the former Badger Ironworks site. I'm getting compliments from folks out in that area saying, wow, that's already been a big improvement on a super eyesore. So congratulations to those folks that worked hard on that. Closed 2 development agreements with downtown Menomonie property owners to renovate dilapidated buildings, and that's an ongoing project, but pretty proud of the work that's already been started and being done for downtown. So good job, staff and folks involved downtown to make those things happen. Closed the development agreement to assist with the rebuilding of the Cedar Corporation corporate headquarters, and that's making headway. It's going to be a beautiful building. Worked with the developer to complete the Maplewood Echo cottages. Also developer to complete the Estovers Terrace, mixed density. Started well 9 improvements to continue in 2025. That's a huge, because we do need another well, and we need to be on top of that. And then I saved the best for last type of thing. 2 things: received the DNR grant to help replace some of the trees lost to emerald ash borer. And then, I don't know, I think everybody kind of knows this, but it's now we can address it to the public. And we received a 3-year, $1 million grant from the U.S. Department of Justice to continue Project Hope. And that's upon some of the other monies too. So Project Hope is live and well, and I want to thank Eric for all the work that he put into it and putting the right people in play to continue it and make it happen. And if I could ask you to elaborate a little bit on that, because you're a great spokesman for Project Hope. So Eric?
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. So the Menomonie Police Department was informed that they're going to receive a 3-year, $1 million grant from the Department of Justice to continue Project Hope at its current funding levels, along with adding additional funds. And in particular, a couple of the nice things about the new grant, it'll allow for us to be able to hire a social worker to be embedded with the police department, to be working with individuals that have substance use disorders while providing case management, which is really critical to the success for ongoing rehabilitation and recovery and in that journey and process that they undertake. There's also money that's assigned in there for project management and grant writing coordinating too, which will then help allow us to be able to bring in some further expertise to expand on grant writing, not just with Project Hope, but with other endeavors here in the city. And on top of that, we were informed that Dunn County received a partnership grant with the police department as well to add an additional $250,000 to work on programs with Project Hope and expanding access to services to help people get into recovery, be able to find jobs, be able to get themselves in a position where they can get housing and other things like that. So from what started in 2020 as a small investment by this council and belief, has blossomed into nearly $2 million and probably a little over $2 million of grant money over the last 4 years based on that investment. And if you could hear from some of the people that have been impacted by that program and that partnership with Dunn County, as well as the other service organizations here in the community, you know that has made a real difference. So I'm very excited that they got another grant on that to see that program going, because it certainly costs a lot of money. We've seen a lot of great return through the rehabilitation of people and lowered crime, and it's amazing. Like Bridge to Hope, they stepped out here, but they've been one of the great partners in that program. Same with Arbor Place and UW Stout, Dunn County, of course. It's the vision this group had to help finance that to the beginning has really led to some great things. Very exciting. Thank you for bringing that up, Mayor.
Well, Eric doesn't toot his horn very much, but he's the one that initiated really to got the program off the ground and make it all happen. Yeah, the council, it was a kind of a vision that I had that the council supported, but really it was Eric and the efforts that he made to make it all happen. I know Human Services, Dunn County Human Services is on board. Now the Sheriff's Department is on board. Eric's been pitching this to other counties, around the area. It would be my dream someday to see this go state level. I know we pitched it down in Washington DC as well. It'd be really cool to get a program like this state level and maybe federally. And it started right here in Menomonie, Wisconsin with this city council. So I just really want to thank this council and I want to thank Eric for all the hard work that he put into it and the continual hard work from the officers and all the coordinators and everybody involved in Project Hope. So a great effort being made and a great success for the future. So that being said, I'm looking for a fantastic year in 2025 and I hope you all are too. So we're going to open up for communications. I think we'll just go around the room and Eric?
Sure. I just want to touch on this year where we're really going to be looking at focusing and making improvements in our parks because they're accessible to everyone. So there's going to be a real focus on making sure our parks are accessible to individuals with disabilities, both in those park areas as well as our public buildings, including revamping our websites. We're going to be looking at various road projects to try to improve the quality of our streets and our environment. I'm excited about the grants that Megan Hines has been writing to add trees because we cut down a tremendous amount of trees that were impacted by the emerald ash borer, as well as replacing lighting, which will then help us both save us in terms of energy, but also improve our overall lighting quality here in the community. So those are just a few of the great things that I think are going to happen here in 2025. So I think it's going to be an exciting year for us.
Great. Kate?
Well, I guess it's close enough to official that we have hired a new deputy clerk in the city. So we have a new employee joining us next Monday, hopefully, to start the adventures of clerk world. So
Okay, very good.
That's
Do you have anything to say about candidates for council?
Mind your papers.
I have papers
You have the papers. Good.
now.
Okay.
No announcement necessary.
Thank you. Going around the room, Gretchen?
I want to say, since we're talking about 2025, we're in step one of the 4 steps for the rail, getting passenger rail through town. And there will be maybe some action within 2025 where hopefully the state will step up and to combine with the federal funding so that there won't be financial action, but things are moving right now with the trains. So hopefully 2025, we'll see some really solid action and the vision won't be so far off for having a train stop here in town.
Well, hope it keeps tracking forward. Thank you. Eric?
Yes, I'd like to add what you had to say, Mayor, to Eric Atkinson for, spearheading the Project Hope. Awesome job. And thank you for that. And also, I was going around getting signatures and talking to different folks. And, I got a lot of thanks for the ATV ordinance and a lot of positive feedback for that. So, and myself, I haven't seen anything negative and really not that much traffic really, but, hopefully it picks up a little bit. But I did get a lot of good feedback about that. So that's all I have.
Good. Thank you. Matthew? Jeff?
Them Packers better play better next weekend than they did last Sunday.
David? No? Oh. Do we have Christmas tree pickup?
Christmas tree pickup is this Wednesday. I believe tomorrow is Epiphany for those of you that are churchgoers. And so in previous years, we've always tried to wait until after Epiphany has ended so that all of the folks can have their tree out when we pick them up.
My tree was an epiphany this year. But anyways, okay. Randy? No? No? Chad? Mary?
Oh.
Cody? Ben? Well, I don't have anything to add to that, so I think we can just continue with our meeting. Thank you, everybody. That being said, next meeting will be January 21st. It'd be a Tuesday evening, so mark that on your calendars. And we can move into our claims list. It is an amended claims list this evening. So if anybody would like to make a motion to support the claims list, we can do that at this time. Jeff Luther?
I make a motion to approve the revised claims list as presented.
Okay, is there a second to that motion? Matthew.
I'll second Jeff's motion.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call vote, please.
Sutherland,
Yes.
Yanko,
Yes.
Gans,
Yes.
Solberg,
Yes.
Schlü,
Yes.
Erdmann,
Yes.
Summerfeld,
Yes.
Luther,
Yes.
Crow.
Yes.
Okay, I do not believe we have any licenses, so if anybody would like to make the motion to adjourn, I'll go around the room and give anybody that wants to raise their hand. Cody.
I will move to adjourn.
Okay, motion made. Matthew,
I'll second that motion.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, everybody. Have a great day, great evening, great week.